Ronan, you're here, aren't you?
I
I can
sure
see
am.
I could see a flurry of faces there. I couldn't pick you out. How are you keeping?
I'm good, very good.
Good stuff. Well, look, it's really, really nice to have you. Um, I will let you do all of the talking, but just to give very, very quick introduction, Ronan is the founder and director of Movement Fitness Dublin, Movement Fitness Sandymount, and soon to be several more locations. So if you can just start off, tell us a little bit about yourself, the business, how you started, where you're at, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I suppose I got into fitness quite early on. I think I did my first sort of weightlifting certificate back in about 1997, but didn't qualify as a personal trainer until about 10 years ago. And in the interim time, I had been working in quite a number of sales jobs, which I have to say has been incredibly helpful for anyone who works in the fitness game. Being able to sell is absolutely key. You can do all your digital marketing and get your leads, but if you can't get people booking in for the calls and then closing them when they're on the phone or in person, it's going to affect your business. So I lived in Australia for 10 years. That's where I qualified as a PT, and then moved back to Ireland. Still not 100% sure why I did that, but I'm here now, and we have the business, and it's working quite well. Started in January 2018, as an outdoor fitness business, because I loved doing group outdoor training over in Australia. The weather doesn't translate quite as well over here, but we do have quite a lot of members who love training outdoors. COVID has actually been beneficial to us in the sense that a lot of gyms and studios were closed. So it's unfortunate for those guys, but a lot of people want to do outdoor fitness and they're so nervous about going back indoors. So we were able to train quite a lot of people, 400 or 500 people, I think last summer were training with us in outdoor locations all across Dublin. And that said, if you're looking at your fitness metrics, for example, and you're looking on the front end, we're getting lots of front end revenue in, people training with us for, like 12 weeks, 16 weeks, whatever it is. That's great for your front end revenue, but it's not great for your back end revenue or the length of engagement you'll have with your clients. So having a studio or a physical location, or indeed the online classes, as the panel we're discussing earlier on, is incredibly helpful to increase your length of engagement with customers. And anyone who knows their fitness metrics is going to know that the length of engagement or the retention of your customers is where the real profitability lies. So that's absolutely key in doing that. So we did have a new gym that was supposed to be open last year that is finally open. We've pivoted and we've changed our model, I suppose, a few times, as a lot of the guys have said. We've gone from group training to online group training to now it's personal training and small group training as well. So we've shifted the model a little bit. For anyone who doesn't know these guys as well, Two Brain Business, we're on their mentor program as well. I think Chris Cooper is on later on. That's an absolutely fantastic mentor program for anyone who's looking for mentorship and wants to learn the fitness business inside and out. How did Glowfox help though? Glowfox was very beneficial. So one of the first things I did when I signed up for Glowfox was I went straight ahead and bought the branded app. And for me, the brand is very important. I want people to have my brand sitting on their phone. So every time they open their phone and they think of fitness, they think of us. One of the main reasons I probably didn't go for some of the other softwares, let's say like MindBody, for example, was I really disliked the user experience of booking classes on MindBody. So I go to a yoga studio just down the road from my house, and I literally every single time takes me 10 minutes to try and book in for the class because it's super hard to find on the app. Whereas the new with Glowfox, it was super easy. So that's something that I really, really wanted for my customers, was it to be super, super simple to book in for a class, so they could literally pick up their phone, click, and they're booked in. I think some of the guys were saying in the last panel interview that actually making it as simple as possible, or making those touch points with customers, if they're in the gym or at studio or classes 3-4 times a week, that increases your length of engagement, that increases your profitability. So having a system that's super easy to book in with is highly important for us and highly important for our business, because it does get the members down to the gym. If they're coming down to the gym, they're getting results. If they're getting results, they're staying on a lot longer. So when you look at those fitness metrics, ease of use on the front end is definitely going to be something that helps you increase that length of engagement with your customer, and then it puts more money in your back pocket. the more money you have in your back pocket, the more you're able to serve your customers with, you know, better programming, resources, facilities, whatever it is. So yeah, Glowfox has been really, really helpful for me. I do use lots of other softwares in conjunction with it, depending on which stage of the cycle they're at. You know, we've got our online learning platform for on-demand stuff. We've got our front-end funnels. I know a lot of maybe customers listening here get their customers to sign up online. We don't do that. I mean, if you download the app and you go to the membership section, you can purchase. But our business model has proven that it's actually better to speak to somebody on the phone first. Like if I look at our set, show, and close rate, so anyone who knows pictures and metrics, like let's say this month we have our full 80 people registered, booked appointments. About 81% showed up and 83% of those people sold. So they actually bought a program and they spent more than they would have if they bought online. So that's something I do actually keep separate from Glowfox. You guys have a great lead capture tool. And I think for other businesses where maybe it's a slightly lower price point, that lead capture is going to work really, really well because you'll have it in there. But we prefer to actually speak to people on the phone first. So we use a separate software for that. Glowfox for me is all about retention. So ease of use. There's some great insights and reports that I use to analyze where we're sitting every single month, like how many active members we have. There's a really good bookings report on there. So if anyone's not using the bookings report, that's definitely you should do. So we have a customer success manager. We're actually set up quite like, I suppose, Glowfox. So anyone who's purchased from Glowfox will know that you speak to someone on the front end first, like Ed or Ronan or one of the guys on the front end, and then you get passed on to an onboarding specialist, and you get passed on to Neve and the customer success team, who look after you at every stage of the journey. And that's very much how we've set up our business as well, like a tech company, because we know the metrics and we know it helps the length of engagement for customers. So we use that booking report on Glowfox all of the time. And our customer success manager, Kaylee, she'll go through that every single week or twice a week to see who's booking in. We also set all our members' goals. So you have to attend 3 sessions per week. You know, that is the goal. She can see on their report that they're not attending. And there's brilliant softwares out there as well that will automate it, but we actually end up the personal touch, like a WhatsApp message going out to people, actually get them back in. I know the other 14 people were away on holidays. We hadn't seen them in the studio in a couple of days. They all got that message. But you can see from the response rate of the customers saying, hey, I'm on my holidays, I'll be back next week. The engagement is higher. This is going to keep them sticking around for longer. So those reports are all in there if you use it. So for me, Glowfox is key for retention. And that's where the money is. So yeah, that's why I love an ease of use in the front end. There you go. That's a bit for me. Any questions you'd like to throw out?
I might ask you a question if that's okay, and then open it up to the floor. And thank you for that. Give really, really good context. And you're using the platform incredibly well. So I actually have 2 questions. The first one is, you mentioned there that you've actually changed your business model. So you've gone from having a studio, having outdoors, and having to go online with COVID, and then now gearing more towards like the small group training and PT. I have a feeling that, you know, that's in response to your rigorous data analytics and you scouring through the metrics. So is that why you've decided to change, or what made you kind of pivot away from what you were originally doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we looked at the group class model in the current climate, it wasn't sustainable. So let's say, for example, our outdoor group classes need to have 24 people in that group class to be profitable at the rate we pay for rent, the rate we pay for trainers, and our membership prices. So we realized very quickly that with smaller class sizes due to COVID, even the locations for your rents required us to have smaller class sizes. We weren't going to be profitable. So we had to shift towards personal training, small group training as well. So 2 and 3 people, 2-on-1. You can actually become much more profitable. But if you look at it from a client's perspective and not just a business perspective, when I started out as a personal trainer, I was one-on-one PT in a studio over in Australia called Vision Personal Training, and the clients got way better results. And when you speak to a client on the phone, 9 out of 10 times they want to solve a problem. Okay, and they're not going to solve the problem for a lot of those clients with group classes because it's weight loss or it's strength or it's injury recovery. So they need extra attention. The other thing we looked at was lockdown has created a lot of unhealthy people. So by telling everyone to stay at home, people have put on weight. There was some statistic that came out the other day, like in Canada, I think for every month of a lockdown, like people have put on £1.5 or something like that. So as fitness professionals, this means, there's a lot of people we can help out there. And so we kind of looked at that. We looked at it from a human perspective, we looked at a data perspective, and we realized we had to change our business model. That's just something that came with the climate. Initially, it was group online classes, and then once we were allowed to train face-to-face with people again, it was personal training. So we will eventually have fewer members, but more people will be doing personal training. We have what we call our hybrid model, which is probably the most popular membership at the moment, which is either 1 or 2 sessions a week with a personal trainer and 1 or 2 sessions a week in group classes. And what the customer get or the client gets is accountability. So they're getting tracked every month. They're doing their weigh-in, their measurements, their photographs and stuff like that. A PT is checking their MyFitnessPal to make sure they're hitting their calorie range. They understand their calories, understand, if there's a macro breakdown depending on their specific goals. So we can already see that, clients are going from doing 2 PT sessions a week to 2 PT sessions plus 2 group classes. So our profitability is going on, results are accelerating, and the relationship is much stronger. So they're sticking around. So to your question, it was a mix of analytics and it was a bit of human touch as well.
Okay, thank you for that. And that's a scary statistic. I didn't realize that it had resulted in so many people just needing to go back to fitness, having been locked down and not being able to access, and the knock-on results as a result of that.
I hope I got that stat right and it wasn't fake news, but my girlfriend's Canadian and that was a Canadian stat,
Google check. Okay, we have 3 minutes left, and I'm just going to ask one more question. You spoke at length there of how you use the product, and you're really just getting as much value from Glowfox as is possible. What allows you to do that? You have a customer success manager within your own business, but also within Glowfox. So is it working with them? Is it just staying the ear to the ground on the knowledge base? How is it that you're using it as well as you are?
So I think the key thing is you need to understand what needs to be measured, and then you can go and find a way to measure it. So all of the data I'm looking for isn't always, like, let's say, readily available. I'm not just going to go into Glowfox and hit the reports tab and all of the information is there. But when you download the reports and then analyze them looking for the figures you're looking for, they're all in there. You can find them. I think the key thing to do is understand what needs to be recorded within your business. All of the data you need is in there. You can get it. And again, like I said, shout out to Chris Cooper. I was probably measuring a third or a quarter of the things I should have been measuring within my business before I started the mentor program, and we were doing well, but we were able to absolutely accelerate by learning from someone who's done it before and helped thousands of gym owners across the world. So I'm not getting a paid commission for this, right? And Chris, I just think the program is absolutely amazing. Like, whatever we paid for it, we made it back within like 4 weeks or something like that. So yeah, but it gives you the metrics. You need to know what needs to be analyzed, and then you can find the figures. Download the reports, Excel, Google Sheets. It gives you the granular breakdown of what you need, but you need to know what needs to be measured first. So that'd be my key takeaway. So if anyone's not sure of what needs to be measured, maybe reach out to a customer success